Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm Steve Timms, recruiting coordinator, receivers coach, pass game coordinator. I'm on here with our quarterbacks coach, Coach McDaniels, and our head coach, Rob Scarlato, who you'll hear from a little later in the presentation. But welcome. Glad you guys took the time tonight to join us. Class of 25, you guys are on the clock. Obviously, you guys have been going through some questionnaires, filling out info for us, looking at info to get up here this summer and this spring. But welcome. We're just going to talk a little bit about Hoya football. All right, this is just our staff, our OC tight ends coach, Rob Spence, from left to right. Me as the receivers coach right next to him, Coach McDaniels, who you'll hear from in a few, right there in the middle, our O-line coach, Coach Parton, right next to him, and then newly hired running backs coach, Gary Ramey Jr., all the way to the right, coming to us from Bridgewater College. At the bottom, left to right, our DC, Kevin Doherty, defensive backs coach, Shane Eaches, our defensive line coach, Kevin Snyder, our special teams coordinator, linebackers coach, Trey Henderson, and our assistant D-line coach, Coach Sammy Jenkins. All right, so this year we had a pretty good year on defense. We had a lot of all-conference guys, Mateen Abaragba, Ivory Harrell, two D linemen. Did a great job for us this year getting after the quarterback. In the secondary, we had Rashawn Adams, corner for us, the safety, Jaden Duggar. And then our special teams player of the year in the conference was Will Kessler. All right, offensively, we had a newly transferred in receiver, Nicholas Dunneman, who was all-conference wide receiver for us and return specialist. We had a senior running back, Josh Stakely, who was second team all-league for us as well. And then another receiver, Jimmy Kibble. We also had a few freshmen All-American, our freshman tight end, Isaiah Grimes. And then we had another one on defense who had a great year as a freshman, was Giancarlo Rufo. All right, so that's obviously talked about our really good year on defense. All right, we had a couple first team in a couple categories. Total defense, pass completion percentage was first in FCS in the country. Pass efficiency on defense, first in the conference, fourth in FCS. Passing yards allowed was number one in the conference, and 11th in the nation. And then our third down defense, which is obviously very important to winning football games, was first in the conference. All right, then offensively and defensively, we had a lot of success with our quarterback getting player of the week a few times. Our running back having a really good breakout game against Fordham. And our young quarterback who's going to be starting for us this year, Danny Lauder, had a really good game against Lafayette this year, 428 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. And then a young Nick Dunneman for us had 15 catches and 205 yards and a touchdown against Colgate. All right, so a lot of really good accolades for our team this year. All right, Washington, D.C. is where we're located. All right, right here in the DMV. All right, Coach, you can go ahead. All right, as you can see, that is our campus right here at the bottom of the screen. We call it the Hilltop. All right, and as you can see, we are about 10 minutes from downtown DC, which we'll talk about in a second. Obviously, this is just a little tour of the city. All right, little aerial tour. You guys should be able to see and check out some of the views. Obviously, the White House. You'll see and hear some of the monuments. All right, some of the memorials. Right, you see the Lincoln, the Jefferson, obviously Capitol. Right, the Kennedy Center, where they do a lot of shows, right, plays here in the city. Even down on the National Mall there. All right, Pentagon, it's pretty close to us as well. Got the Arlington Cemetery here right across the bridge. MLK Memorial, which our guys visit every year on MLK Day. There's Old Georgetown on the hilltop. And as you see, it just kind of gets darker throughout the video. See the sunset over the city. White House again. All right, and obviously we're extremely blessed to be in this location in Washington, D.C. We don't take it for granted. I'm having that great location. All right, you'll get to check out our great facilities here a little later. All right, but just gonna go through campus and go through the city a little bit. All right. All right, this is some of the museums down on Constitution Avenue. All right, right in the city. All the museums are free. We got the African American Museum down here at the bottom, the Brown Building. All right, and then some of the Smithsonian museums right behind them. All right, obviously all those are free right there on Constitution Avenue. All right, we're blessed to have our basketball team be able to play downtown in Capital One Arena. They play in the Big East, so it's always a great atmosphere down there watching them play. This is just another graphic, obviously, of us defending the district. Cherry blossoms here that come in the spring. All right, a lot of tourists come down here and see that. All right, so we get a lot of foot traffic. And then this is just old Georgetown, the Georgetown area, which is right outside of the school on M Street. All right, a lot of shops, down there, a lot of designer shops for the heavy hitters with the heavy pockets. All right, and then we also have, things like Zara, H&M, Urban Outfitters, and things like that. All right. We got the Reagan National Airport, DCA, which is right. We're blessed to have that about 10 minutes from campus. All right. So that flies out to almost everywhere where we recruit. All right. We also have other airports we have Dulles, which is about 30 minutes away from campus. All right. And then we have BWI, which is about 45 minutes from campus. All right, just a little bit about campus. All right, obviously you saw a couple pictures, a couple videos earlier, just of us and our location. We're located right here in Northwest Washington, D.C. All right, right across the bridge. All right, that bridge right there is the Key Bridge. If you go to the next one, Coach, the next one, there's the Key Bridge. So that separates Arlington, all right, Virginia from Washington, D.C. All right, so we are located on the Washington side. All right, and then we are able to house recruits and obviously have people live, like some of our guys will live right across the street in Arlington as well. All right. So just getting to campus here. This is Healy Hall, which is right on campus. All right, this is the first building you see when you walk through the front gates of campus. All right. Healy Hall is the oldest building on campus, all right, where our president's office resides, and a lot of older classrooms that some of our guys have class at as well. All right, this is the McDonough School of Business, which is right behind our stadium. All right, on the newer side of campus. All right, this building probably about one of the newer buildings on campus, probably about 15 to about 18 years old. Hasn't been here that long. All right. If you want to go inside of it here, Coach, so plenty of breakout rooms. It's a beautiful building once you get in there. It's got a big auditorium in it as well, and like I said, bunch of great classrooms, breakout rooms as well. 11-to-1 the ratio in that school for professors to students. All right. This is our science center, which is right across the street from it, also right behind our stadium. All right. Regents Hall is what it's called, and it's a beautiful, beautiful building, also on the newer side of campus. All right. This also connects to our student union, which is right up top with some of the food places we'll talk about here in a few. All right. This is Dargan Chapel, which is right over and probably in the middle of campus. All right. If you're heavy in your faith, we are a Jesuit institution. All right. You are able to go to church here on campus every Sunday. Also, plenty of churches in the area for different denominations. All right. If you go back, Coach, really quick. All right. The Old North Steps here to my right is where a bunch of presidents have spoken on our campus, which we're blessed to have that. Obviously, the White House is right there, about 10 to 15 minutes from campus. So a bunch of presidents have been on campus and spoke to our student body. All right. We're also blessed to have our law school. So our law school is one of the top in the country. All right. Our law school is actually located downtown. There's shuttle service every day that rolls about every 15 minutes to get people down there. to go check that out or get to class or what have you. All right, just another shot at it here. All right. We're also blessed to have one of the best medical schools in the country. All right. We also have a hospital on campus, which is great because all of our guys have access to that. If anything, knock on wood, tragic were to happen, they're able to have some of the best doctors in the country, with obviously one of the best medical schools in the country. All right. Our dining hall, just talked about the student union up top. All right. Up top of Regents, that's connected to that. All right. They have Chick-fil-A. All right, I know everybody loves Chick-fil-A. Then we have like a chop station next to it for salad. We also have our bookstore up there as well. And there's also a Starbucks in that building. All right. Then we have our Leo's Dining Hall with plenty of options up top. There's a coffee shop right there to your left called Whisk, with one of the best staffs in America. All right. And then in the back, you have about 5 or 6 options, all right, to eat, from places like, it's like a fake Chipotle up there with like a great stir fry section. Then there's one called the Bodega, all right, with great sandwich options. And then there's also one in the middle that's something different every day. They use local restaurants, and I think it's a great opportunity for other restaurants to come in and push their stuff throughout our students. All right, and then also the bottom. All right, where they have a great staff that takes care of us as well. All right, here's the grilled section. There's the smoked section with different things every day. The grill is different every day, and they have desserts. They have a salad section down there. They have a pizza station, vegetarian options, vegan options, and then a halal station that's there every day as well. So a bunch of different options down there with all you can eat. All right, so our mascot, old Jack the Bulldog. All right, he is a real dog. All right, not just the actual mascot. He's a real dog who walks around campus, comes to the games, rides skateboards. All right, as you can see. All right, so he is a real dog, and he runs the team out every Saturday for home games. All right, right now I'm going to turn it over to our quarterback coach, Coach McDaniels. He's going to take you through our beautiful football facilities in the Thompson Center. All right, and our locker room.
Yep, appreciate you, Coach Timms. Hope everybody's enjoyed the city so far on our campus. We're truly blessed here at Georgetown to have some of the best buildings around, and that doesn't stop at our facilities. So lots of our facilities are on the newer side. Going to take you through a handful of them here. Okay, the first one we're going to look at here is the John Thompson Athletic Center, or what we call the TAC for short. This is where we're going to do everything as a student athlete except for play and practice. We play and practice in the stadium, which we'll see here in a second. If you are taking this picture here that we're looking at, though, we're standing in the stadium. So everything you're going to do as a student athlete is either in the stadium or right across the street here in the John Thompson Athletic Center. So you'll see here as we get going, but we lift here, we meet here, training rooms in here, we got a nutrition station here. Everything else is going to be in this big, beautiful building right here. As we walk in here, here's the opening. Here's John Thompson, the guy who put our athletic program on the map with basketball in the 70s and the 80s. Nice big opening here. Seasonal athletes will be in these mannequins right here. So in the fall, these will be football players with pads on and stuff wearing our jerseys. Through these doors here is what we call Nolan Hall. So a good multi-purpose room for meetings, for meals, recruiting events, all that good stuff. Lots of history on these walls too. So through the story tradition of our athletic department, you can see all that stuff on these vintage photos here. Cool technology on the walls here too. They got QR codes, so you can walk through this thing almost like a museum, if you will, to try to learn some history of the Georgetown Athletic Department. Get here, the next one. Okay, upstairs in this building, right, we're fortunate enough to have not just one, but 2 auditorium-style meeting rooms here, which is a rarity at the FCS level. So this is our team meeting room here. We'll start every single morning here in fall camp and spring ball here with Coach Scarlato addressing the team, and then Coach Henderson will take over from there, run special teams meetings in here as well. And this sits the entire team, the entire program, coaches included. So again, that is a rarity and a big bonus for us at the FCS level to have one of these right here. And then we have a second one here, which you'll see in a minute, right down the hall. This is the slightly smaller one here. This is the offensive unit meeting room. So as an offense, if we ever want to get together, quarterbacks and receivers can meet here together if they want. It's big enough for that. This is Coach Timms' home base with the receivers right here. The receivers meeting here every day. This sits a little bit over 50 people in this one. The other one sits about 100 or so. Right. And again, you're getting lots of story, tradition, and some history on these walls here, some vintage Georgetown stuff. So way back in the day, you see some of that history on the walls here. All of these rooms also have two or three big flat screen TVs up there to watch film on, a couple whiteboards to get coached up on as well. As we move downstairs here and take a look at our training room, they have multiple full-time athletic trainers here that work with football. Okay, got all the tables you could possibly need. Got some really cool and expensive technology down here in this room, like in the back here. If you guys can see my circle or my cursor here circling back here, this is an Ultra G treadmill. So if God forbid somebody were hurt a lower body, ankle or knee or something like that, we can speed up the recovery by putting them on this treadmill and running with 20 to 30% of their body weight so they can speed up that recovery process. As we swing it over here to the left, got a nice little cryo chamber right here. So if you want to get in negative 100-degree atmosphere right there to speed up the recovery process, you can do that as well. And then in the back of this room here, we've got our hydrotherapy room here. So we've got 2 cold and hot tubs in here, right? So we can fit a few dozen of our guys in here. Again, bunch of really nice perks for us to have in this building. Okay, going back upstairs, again, you're going to get all the academic support you could ever need here at Georgetown. Okay, but upstairs we have a full academic room here. So our guys will do study hall here in this room, have unlimited access to tutors through here. And then along the walls here and these little breakout looking room things in this room here, we have full-time academic counselors that work with our football guys. We've got DEI officers up there. We've got leadership programs up there. Just truly the full package when you walk into this room here. This room right here doesn't really care so much about your athletics. This is to focus on you as a student and as a person. Again, all these breakout rooms are all the support staffers that work with all of our football guys and some other sports as well upstairs here. So this is a nice room to have here as well. Again, moving to the next room upstairs. This is our players lounge here. So a good place for guys to go in there, hang out, get a nap if they want to, watch some TV, just chill out a little bit. Got a nice functional fireplace there in the middle. All right, they could bring their Xboxes, their PlayStations here, plug up to these computers if they wanted to. And then again, these kind of black and white portraits here on the side. There's a lot of history going on here. So all the guest speakers that have come to speak or do something big at Georgetown, which is a lot of notable people, they're all listed on those walls. Some famous alumni, lots of politicians, movie stars, singers, things like that are on these walls here. But this is another great room to have upstairs. And again, this whole building is just for Georgetown student athletes here. Some more TVs there in the back for you with some other notable figures here on the wall. And looking at a couple of our indoor resources that we have here at Georgetown. Okay, we have men's and women's both have one of these full NBA style practice arenas here. So this is like the tall piece of this building here that you see from the outside. This is just the women's here. So the men have their own thing directly on top of this. So this is obviously beautiful for our women's basketball program to have, but we also have access to this as well. So offensively, I know at least we'll walk through here in the fall and sometimes before games. So a huge open space here to get your walkthroughs in. We could, if it's inclement weather outside and the quarterbacks and receivers wanted to get together and throw, this is a great place to do that. Right. And sometimes we could have some team games down here like dodgeball and other things like that to get after it in. Okay, moving into our weight room. Okay, our weight program here, we nickname it the Iron Hoyas, right? And we have a full-time strength and conditioning coach on our staff, Coach Shanahan, who runs a really sharp program with our guys, who once you get to campus, you'll get to meet him. Okay, but this is our weight room. So this is all those big, beautiful rooms and spaces I just showed you. They all kind of pale in comparison to this right here. So this is our holy grail, if you will. Full 20 rack weight room in here with a nice 40-yard turf strip in the middle. And again, another place where in the middle, guys could do plyos, they could run a little bit, push sleds, You could throw the football around right there if you want to. Lots of warm-up stuff right there. But again, the nice thing about having 20 full racks here is we can fit the entire team in here at once. So a lot of programs that don't have quite as much equipment as we do, they have to like break it up into multiple lift groups. We can fit the entire team in here, which we do. So our guys right now, they're finishing up their spring and winter program as we gear up here for spring practice here in a couple weeks. So they'll be testing here in a couple weeks, focusing on gaining strength and some muscle mass right now. When we break up and we actually get into the workout here, it'll be about 3 guys to a rack, and they all get nice little tablets with their workouts tracked on it. And it's all based on exactly how strong you are, all of your metrics. So you're doing the perfect weight for you. Everything's an individualized thing. And even by positions too, it varies a little bit. So like my quarterbacks, they have a different lifting program than Coach Tim's receivers, for example, or Coach Schneider's defensive line. So everybody gets an individualized program. And then my favorite piece of this is these little power blocks here in the middle. Really cool adjustable dumbbell set at every single rack. So if we do anything with dumbbells, there's right there in the middle for you. And then everything is obviously branded with the Georgetown G and all this stuff. So love this weight program here. And we get after it when we get in here now. So this is from a couple weeks ago. This is Quincy Briggs here, a freshman defensive back for us from Memphis, Tennessee, who's going to play a big role in our defense this upcoming season. Getting after on some front squat. Trying to bring the juice in here. Guys getting after it. All right, here's another good lifting video. This is from a defensive lineman from a couple of years back, which you'll see more about in a couple of minutes from Coach Carlotta. He went on to play professionally for us. Going around some real weight here. Let's 315 go. On the clean and jerk.
Get aggressive now! Wake the hell up! Yes!
Just getting after it, right? Got to be some animals here in the weight room. Got to win games in there first before you get to the field. Right, getting to the field here now. Our stadium complex is actually pretty much brand new. I think it's about 3 or 4 years old. We finished it right after COVID. So the stadium complex looks entirely different than it did just a couple of years ago. Right, this is from the top of that stadium, which you'll see here in a second. But nice, beautiful views here. We're right in the smack dab center campus, so you can see a lot of those academic buildings that Coach Timms was talking about earlier. Our business building here to the left, the Science Center, Regents Hall there in like the top left area. Right, a couple other really great scenic views here. To the right there, you're starting to see a little bit of our stadium complex. Nice, beautiful press boxes and President Suite up top. And then that Thompson Athletic Center, like we were talking about, is in that back right, top right, back right corner there for you. And it's a great atmosphere on game day, which you'll see here in a little bit. These are all dorms here surrounding it from this view here. So you'll see guys watching it from their dorm rooms on Saturdays and stuff, and then packing out the stands. Okay, again, it's Cooper Field. Right, this turf, by the way, is all of about 13 months old. So it was brand new this time a year ago. So when we stepped on the field in the fall of 2023, that was the first time we played games on this new turf surface. So this is nice and new for us to have. Right, and then this is just a snapshot here. I think this was homecoming against Fordham. Usually gets pretty packed in here. Right, we got our conference travels really well as well. So and we travel well on the road too. So when we go play teams that are up in Bucknell, even like Colgate and upstate New York, right? Our fans travel really well. Our families travel really well. So it's always a great atmosphere. And then directly below this, let me backtrack just a couple slides here real quick. Directly below our stadium concourse right here is our locker room, which came brand new with the stadium right after COVID. Okay, so this is another huge asset for us to have. Everybody's got their own locker. Right, nice carpeted surface below. Again, just a awesome tool for us to have at our disposal down here. One of my favorite pieces about this locker room in particular is on the top of everybody's individualized locker. It says their name, their hometown, and for us, being a pretty national program, having guys from 29 different states on the program. You walk through just one strip and you'll go all the way from Oregon to California to a couple Arizona, Texas. Got Utah guys in there, got a couple Florida guys, North Carolina, tons of guys from up in the New England area, a couple local guys from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. But that is personally my favorite piece because everybody's cubby up top is personalized about where they're from. So it's pretty cool to show where we get all of our guys from. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over here to Coach Scarlotta. He's going to talk a little bit more about the 4 for 40 and a couple other nice, unique things about our program. So Coach, we'll go ahead and kick it over to you.
Great. Coach, if you can unshare your screen, I'll just share mine. How's everybody doing? Just wanted to come on screen and introduce myself. I'm Rob Scarlotta. I'm the head football coach at Georgetown. I've been blessed to be here, coming up on my 29th year of coaching. Got here as a student athlete in 1990. So a lot of things you've seen. The place has changed a lot with the new stadium and the Thompson Center. The one thing that hasn't changed is the ability for us to recruit the best and the brightest from across the country. As Coach stated, we had 104 players from 29 states. And I think Coach Thames, thanks so much. Coach McDaniel did a great job of giving me a snapshot of the football part of our program and the city and all the things that we have to offer here. So I'm going to share my screen and just go through a couple things. I'm really blessed to have an incredible staff. We'll give you all their contact information afterwards. When we recruit staff here, we're looking for detail-oriented teachers who really care about your development as a student athlete. Got some great questions in the chat about the support that we have at Georgetown. As I share my screen, this is our emblem here. And Coach Tim, just let me know if you can see my screen here real quick, just to make sure. All good. See the seal. So the 4 for 40 really talks about your journey, which is the 4 years at Georgetown, setting you up for the next 40. The Sisu symbol in the top right here is your path and your journey. It's our way of saying never quit and have no complaints in the face of adversity, which you're going to get hit with here on the field, off the field, as you're competing with the best and the brightest. And then a bottom symbol here is a Jesuit sun for men and women for others. We really believe that our program is integral to Georgetown being this incredible, diverse place to go to school, to meet people from different states, different backgrounds, and come together. Our room is probably the most unique room at Georgetown, just because of the mixed people that we've been able to bring together on our coaching staff, our support staff, and our players. So, when you say Georgetown, everybody thinks about the academics. We were rated as the number 12th college in the United States. Obviously, we play in the Patriot League, and we really take pride in the fact that our academics and our results are tops in the world. We have our players that will do internships this summer up in New York. I'm actually lucky to go up to tomorrow, actually, to go see a bunch of our alums in the city. We have a big event in Midtown, and I'll have a chance to visit with a number of our guys that are working at Goldman and JP Morgan and some of their own shops up in New York tomorrow. So, this past year, really very thankful for our two academic coaches, Dr. Shelley Hable and Molly Soha, for the results that we had in season. The fact is you're going to come here and graduate, in 4 years and be on a pathway, in your 4 for 40 where you want to go. We did a great job in the classroom. We had 75 kids over a 3.0. We had 25 guys get honors. And as you look at the excellence over here, we had 25 guys that were 3.5 or better. And this does not include our graduate students that we had, because these are all undergrad stats. That we had 2 guys that were 4.0 and 2 that were 3.7. So, you're going to have to be excellent in both things when you come here to Georgetown. This is my favorite day, which is graduation day for our players. This is a unique group for us. We, as we said, we recruit the entire country. We actually have 10 players that are Polynesian from Hawaii, American Samoa, and Tonga. And this is one of the pictures from graduation this past year. Richie Panomi is one of our offensive linemen going left to right here, who will return next year for his 5th year. Josh Stakely was one of our tailbacks from Tennessee. Sam Talesa was one of our offensive linemen from out in Oregon, family originally from American Samoa. Talati Palamalu, who's Troy's nephew, who was a 5th-year student in our School of Masters in Management last year, which is one of the top ones in the world. And Lasini Maka, who started at center for us, is one of the best linemen in the conference. who is from Hawaii and did his 5th year or did a PG before coming to Georgetown up at Blair in New Jersey. So when we talk about coming to Georgetown and being an integral part of the campus and being successful among the best, these 2 pictures are of Sam Talesa getting an award at Tropia, which is like the Heisman Trophy for academics at Georgetown and the college. And this is Talati Palomalo. So as you look at it, Sam got the award for being the best out of the 850 student athletes academically and on campus. And Talati actually got the award for the entire school for service within the college, not just the student athletes. So, we're very keyed into having our guys compete not only on the field, but in the classroom. We like to say the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So both Sam and Talati are great examples of the journey, the 4 years here, setting you up for the next 40. So as I go up tomorrow to New York City, here's a question I have for everybody that's on the call is, will you put the work in on and off the field to be one of the best? And when we talk about the best, we're talking about on the field, off the field, and how you are in Georgetown's community. The football program has done a great job of that over the last 50 years, and we're looking to continue that. This picture is of Ahmad Wilson. Ahmad was 4-time All-Conference at Georgetown. And hopefully you guys can see this video. It's not too choppy for you, but this play epitomizes Ahmad on and off the field. And honestly, this is what we're looking for. That's a Sisu play right there. As a secondary coach, you're watching Ahmad, and when you get to this other replay, he's not in the greatest position here and never gives up on a 4th and 2 play to seal a game. So a lot of players would give up on this. Ahmad's not that guy. And this is when he was a young buck as a sophomore. So Ahmad is one of those guys that is one of our best examples of an achiever, someone that's never going to give up on a play, whether it was on or off the field. And, he was a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman at 1AA at the FCS level. You can see that he's wearing number 35, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the 35 is a 9/11 remembrance jersey for Joe Akabachi. He was one of our alums, graduated in 1997. He was a trader at Cantor Fitzgerald and died in the attacks of 9/11. So each year we have one player represent Joe's memory of being the best teammate, the epitome of what we want to be known as a football program. And we're honored to have Ahmad wear that when he was a 5th year. So I don't know if you guys have seen this product in your local grocery stores. This is a great story with Jake DeSico and his brothers. They started a company called Super Coffee. They were first at Bark Tank. Georgetown's mascot is the Bulldog, is Jack the Bulldog, and that's how they started. They wound up on Shark Tank and are now the number 2 cold coffee drink in the country behind Dunkin' Donuts. To make everybody laugh, Jake's here in the middle. I wouldn't trust Jake to walk the dogs as a freshman. His 4 for 40 journey was quite something, and he's running just valued at just under $1 billion company with his 2 brothers, all under 30 right now. And they have about 110 employees with 10 former Georgetown student athletes, both male and female, working for them in their company. This is part of the McDonough School of Business through the entrepreneurship program. So Ahmad is up on Wall Street right now. He did internships at JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Goldman, and works for Bank of America. And it's great. I'll get a chance to see him tomorrow. And there are a lot of different pathways. Jake was not going to be the Wall Street guy, but is running an incredible company with an incredible culture. And those are some of the lessons and paths that you can wind up with coming out, being a student athlete and working through Georgetown over your 4 years. So one thing we get a question a lot about is the pathway to continue to be a great football player. Just so everybody understands, we talk about the city, the facilities, and the school. We're looking to win the Patriot League championship, go to the playoffs, and win a national title. Everything here is geared towards being the best, and that's where our football program is going. So I'll show this quick video of Mike Darius. He's one of our receivers from a couple years ago. He signed with the Ravens coming out. He's had a great career with the Ravens for 2 years and won 2 USFL championships back-to-back with the Birmingham Stallions. Actually talked to him this week. I think he'll play probably 2 more years. And in the off seasons, he's looking to intern. also a McDonough School of Business graduate, and is looking to make sure that he's got his plan ready for when he's done playing. Josh Tomas is somebody that Coach Thames did an unbelievable job of developing. Coach T, I won't give you a hard time about ball security here, but Coach did a great job of getting Josh to be the #1 receiver in the country for receptions and yardage 2 years ago. Really happy for him. He just signed with the indoor league with the Panthers, and I think that's going to be his pathway to get into the UFL and hopefully a shot at the league. This very big gentleman to the right is Christian Tate. He was on the video before in the weight room getting after it. He was a 4-time all-conference player in the Patriot League and has been in the UFL as well. So he's local now and is still training and looking for his next opportunity in the league. Last one here is Wes Bowers, who was with the UFL for a while and now is in the indoor league and just went back out to go for his next season coming up. So, the path to the league playing is full of Georgetown folks. And then, everybody always looks at this picture and doesn't understand why, but Paul Tagliabue, who is responsible for the modern NFL, is a Georgetown grad. Actually played basketball at Georgetown. Happy to say he's one of my mentors, was a chair of our board of directors and still is very involved with our athletics program. Coach Schwartz, Jimmy Schwartz, was at Georgetown a couple years before I was, has been, a major force in the league, great resource for our program. And then Colin Metter is one of my tight ends from Ohio, who has been out with the San Francisco 49ers in their front office and has been, named in the 30 under 30 and is a major exec right now in the league. So, the one thing is I highlight all these guys that you have to understand. I've never been refused in the last 30 years when I've asked to have somebody talk to one of our players. Our community is extremely tight, not just within athletics, not just within football, but Georgetown as a whole. When we travel and we have the G or we have the Hoya on your chest, people will stop you and talk to you. It's that kind of a place. Where the alumni network is the strongest thing we have is the people in our network. As I mentioned before, these are a number of our 35 recipients. This is our top honor. We're really looking forward to getting into the spring here and naming our number 35 for the 2024 season, as well as our captains coming up. So, Coach T, I'm going to go through the dates here and the camp stuff, and then I'll kind of turn it over to you at the end, okay? As you see, Georgetown does require the SAT and ACT, so these dates are up. We'll keep publishing these. Academically, we're looking for AB students. We're looking for guys that can do well on the test, and that is something that will help you. We're looking to make sure that you will have success at Georgetown. Those stats of having 75 people over a 3.0 is really based on what you're doing in high school and the support that we have for you here once you do get here. Our spring practice season is coming up. The NCAA just switched from a dead period to a quiet period, so you're allowed to come and visit us. I would say if you want to come through campus, please get in touch with us through your recruiting coach, or you can always email football@georgetown.edu. All of our practices are open. Most of them are in the morning. Some of them are in the evening as well on Fridays, and we'll have a couple different opportunities for you to come and check out practice here in April. This is our schedule, which we release tomorrow. We'll play 11 games. We'll have open with Davidson, play Marist and Sacred Heart. We have 2 Ivies on the schedule. We'll play Brown and Columbia, and then we have a bye as we get ready to go into our conference. So really like how the schedule shakes out for us. Our players are super excited to get back out on the field this spring and start preparing for the 2024 campaign. All right, so our camp dates are up there. We have some in June, some in July as well. We have a specialist camp on July 6th, and we're really excited to partner with Oregon on the 6th. So I'll go back here. So that Thursday Night Lights, the Oregon Ducks will be coming out. They have some interest and always recruiting out here in the DC area. We talk about defend the district. A lot of people want to get into this area, and we're really excited One other thing to note with Oregon coming out, I think everybody knows that Oregon and Nike are very aligned. You can see our emblem in there in the bottom right. We are a Nike school. You know, big Coach Thompson was on their board of directors, and we're very lucky to have a Nike contract. So everything that we wear is Nike. We actually have one of the largest contracts with Nike outside of the academies, or our level for the FCS level. So I'll unshare my screen here, Coach, and let you grab the share on some of the stuff at the end. Right now, we just want to make sure that we have all your information. Another one of our alumnus, Jamie O'Brien, is Tech Wizard. You probably see these circular QR codes, a flow code up. And there'll be one at the end here, and then we'll email it out to you. It has all of our information. It'll be on one page. So it'll have our questionnaire. It'll have the camp information. It'll have some information on our websites there. We want to make sure that we get all your info so we can keep you up to date with what's going on, and make sure that you know which coaches are recruiting what positions. So one thing I'll explain is we have coaches that have certain areas. If you don't know who the area recruiter is, send your information, your Twitter, your transcripts, all that stuff to the position coach, and we'll get it sorted out. So we do two things. We have areas that we like to go to, and then we want to make sure that the position coaches will get it taken care of. So if you have any confusion on it, send it to the coaches, and we'll make sure that we get it squared away for you guys. All right, so this is the flow code page. You can take a picture of this with your phone. It'll take you right there. It'll have the camp registration for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out as we're going through this stuff. So, all right, I'll stop the share here real quick. I know Coach has been doing a great job of hitting you up with some of the questions. Biggest thing for me after being at Georgetown is we're looking for great people who are extremely driven and want to be challenged. You know, if you're on this call and you think you're that person that can be like an Ahmad Wilson and Christian Tate, that can be, you know, great in the classroom and great on the field, that's what we're looking for. So we'd love to have you come down and visit campus, come see what we're talking about. This is just like a little bit of an intro for you. We'd love to see you at spring practice and especially at camp, and come and compete. Come compete with us and show us what you have to offer, and come see what we can do. You know, I want you to come see how we coach, how we talk with each other, because it's very important that you surround yourself with great people. The different thing here at Georgetown is the people and the support system that's around you. So I always liken it to, if you're sitting in the green room for the draft, what do you want to surround yourself with? We have incredible academic support. We have a full-time sports psychology department with 2 sports psychologists that work with our team on counseling and performance. We have the Cooper Athletic Leadership Program. So the donation and the money for our field also is super unique, that we have one of the best leadership programs in the country. Tomorrow morning, our players will train with our strength coach, and they will work with Al Littell, who runs that program for us, continuing on this leadership journey that we're looking to get set up for spring practice. You know, we have a full-time trainer. We have the Georgetown Hospital right up the hill from us. We have 2 orthopedic surgeons. We have 2 doctors that take care of our guys every day for their normal aches and pains and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, as you're looking at these places, make sure that there's support around you, not just a receivers coach. Coach Thames is super important, and we need all the other things for you to be successful here. So really appreciate you guys taking the time tonight. I will throw it back to Coach Thames, just kind of wrap it up. But like I said, if you have any questions, please visit the Flow Code page. Hit us up at football@georgetown.edu, and we're looking forward to seeing you on campus this spring.
Appreciate you, Coach. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Like Coach said, guys, come and compete this summer. Majority of our class, the last 4 years that I've been here, is taken from camp. So if you say you want to be a Hoya, you say you want to be a part of what we got going on, you got to come to camp. All right, so go on that flow page. All right, go online, sign up for camp. No matter what position you play, you are gonna be taken from camp. All right, so come out to camp and compete this summer. All right, come join us this spring. Come see spring practice. Come see what we got to offer. Come see the facilities. All right, and come watch us move around this spring. All right. Again, thank you guys for coming out. All right, and you know, go Hoyas, and hopefully we'll see you soon here in DC.